Hola, bienvenidos a nuestro canal de YouTube. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos esta tarde. Y pues el día de hoy tengo una invitada muy especial y vamos a platicar de una ciudad que no es muy conocida, una provincia
Hola, bienvenidos a nuestro
que
canal de
tampoco
YouTube.
nos
Gracias
piden
por
muchísimo por aquí,
acompañarnos.
pero perdón que ahí tenía unos problemitas con el audio, pero estamos listos y creo que con mi video también. Vamos a ver aquí la parte técnica. Parece que ya estoy ahí bien. Ok. Bueno, pues quiero presentarles primero a mi invitada. Ella es Malvina Rapco. Ella es canadiense. Llegó muy pequeña a Canadá y ella pues nos va a platicar un poquito de su historia. Las sesiones en inglés, todo va a ser en inglés. Y primero les queremos mostrar un video espectacular de la ciudad de Saskatoon y después vamos a platicar con Malvina. We are ready, Malvina. You can just
All
please
right,
show the video. Yeah.
here we are. Here's beautiful Saskatoon.
People are always going to ask, where are you from? And instead of just telling them, I wanted to be able to show them. This is Saskatoon.
I
Of
think
course,
it's a fantastic video. I want to go out and study there. I want to go again and study there.
he did a great job. I would love him to do a winter one.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's good to know about all the seasons, you know.
Yeah.
But thank you, Malvina. Thank you for being with us. We have been working together for a while. I mean, we met some years ago, and you were helping our international students, especially high school students at that time. But you've been involved with immigration and education and international students. I can say that your whole life because you have your own experience. And I honestly, I didn't know this about you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me your story. And honestly, I would like you to share this story with everybody because I think it's awesome. I mean, you live that, so you can share with the students how challenging can be just to move to another country.
You know, I find it quite interesting that the sort of the immigration experience can stay with you regardless of your age. And
Mhm.
that's like really what happened in my case. Like my family, we came when I was a baby, but I lived that immigrant refugee life with my family, with my parents, my grandparents.
Mhm.
So I definitely really knew what it felt like to be different, to have
Mhm.
different foods. My hair was different, clothing, our language, our accents,
Mhm.
all those kinds of things stayed with me as a kid and as I got older. And then other things, I would experience with my parents struggling to find jobs or being able to, for example, with my mom, she was a teacher back home, but then when she came here, no one gave her the right support or guidance. And so
Mhm.
she couldn't get into the education system because she had no idea that she could do it. And
Mhm.
also that kind of struggle between wanting to take care of the family, but also wanting to pursue your education. And then
Mhm.
ultimately about not having enough support, like not knowing anybody. You leave your whole support system behind.
Mhm.
All the grandparents, the friends, the aunts, the uncles, they're all behind. So you're coming here needing more support than you needed before, and you have less, right? So that's kind of the experience that I had with my family growing up. And over the years, like my grandparents came, but this is a different story because they didn't come just, for studying. They came to immigrate. And lots of people do come to study and then choose to immigrate as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but one thing that's really helped me in the work that I do now and the work that I've been doing for like over 20 years now is
Mhm.
helping newcomers, all types of newcomers,
Mhm.
students, and immigrants, help them settle in Saskatoon so that I can help them with the type of things that my parents wish they had help with.
Mhm. I think the time has changed, probably when your parents arrived to Canada, things were a little bit different or
Oh
completely
yeah.
different
Yeah.
from now and other type of problems. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there were problems and now there are also, if not problems, some challenges, right? Any type
Yeah.
of challenges in different time, um, for different type of immigrants from
Exactly.
backgrounds.
Like it is Saskatoon, Saskatchewan is way more diverse now. We have so much diversity, so many people from many different countries. It's possible now, I mean, over the last 20 years at least, to find your own like local grocery stores, cultural grocery stores, restaurants, entertainment, different kinds of temples or churches or whatever within your community, as well as getting involved with just the everyday person that lives here as well. So it's great for that. There's so much more to offer in Saskatchewan than there was when we immigrated.
Yeah, I could see that on the video, like they are different, you can see on the people's faces.
Mhm.
Um, do you think that's something that, I think in general, Canada is like that, but do you think that is a benefit for any international students to find that kind of multiculturalism so they can probably adapt faster? What do you think about it?
So you're right. Like you can go anywhere in Canada and you will find more diversity. Of course, if you go to the larger centers, there's
Mm.
even more there. Personally, I believe the benefit of coming to a place like Saskatoon or to Saskatchewan is that we don't have a lot of people, but we have a lot of a little bit. So
Okay.
you have that ability to connect with, for example, other Mexicans if you want,
Mhm. Mhm.
but you also get the exposure to so many other cultures and different types of people. And I think that's extremely valuable for students, especially, is because you get to have sort of one of the nice things about finding people from your own country or your own city is you have that moment where you can just sort of like,
Have you
exhale.
been a long time
A long day, you're like processing this other language all the
all the
time,
time?
other things. It's nice to be able to come together, eat some food you're more familiar with, talk about things, also laugh about those crazy Canadians or whatever. And you also get the benefit of improving your language faster because you are exposed to so many other cultures. You have to
Yeah.
practice
Practice.
English more, for example, right? Also, you have to practice your intercultural skills of being able to communicate and to work effectively with other cultures
Mhm.
all the time. And that's a benefit here, because if you go to a larger city, you can hide, like you can just go and only speak Spanish every day, for example.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And that doesn't benefit you, because then, well, you have to think about, what is the point? Like, what are you trying to get out of your experience? Are you trying to, grow your language skills, your employable skills,
Mhm.
create opportunities for yourself, for your family, for your kids? And I feel like Saskatoon and Saskatchewan is a really great place to do that, because it does force you to have to work on yourself a bit more.
Probably to integrate faster.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So it has that, I think it has that really great mix. And
Yeah.
I'm speaking, of course I'm here, so I'm a bit biased. But I am speaking also just from my experiences across the country, which I have a lot of experience, as
Mhm.
well as my own, I can even say my own relatives who have gone to larger centers and have had very different experiences that have not entirely benefited them in the same way that it has my family.
Mhm. I think Saskatoon, it's small enough to integrate, to be part of the city, but it's just big enough not to be too big, like it has
Exactly.
it's a good
Yeah.
enough for especially for immigrants and for international students, like the
Yeah.
first place to arrive. And I think people are very friendly. Honestly, like I can say that all Canada, or all around Canada, people are friendly. But there are certain cities when you arrive, you feel it different. And
Totally.
that's kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing opportunity, like a real Canadian experience, to be in places like in Saskatoon. But I guess there are some challenges right now that students might face. What do you think is or what are some of them, some challenges that students, international or employees, any type of newcomers are facing when they arrive, especially to Saskatoon?
Yeah. Well, I know that, for example, lots of your clients are from various countries in Central and South America, right? So
Mm,
one of the things that I'd say they probably all would share is not having experience with our winters.
for the winter.
Yeah, like I think, if you've got clients, I know you have, Bolivia or in
Yeah,
Mexico or something, they still
Colombia.
don't have Colombia, exactly. Those countries, they don't have the same kind of winter that we do.
Mm,
So there are a few challenges with the weather, for example. But the great thing about that is that we have a lot of supports in place to keep people warm.
okay, okay.
And if you have some, to help with the right types of clothing to have. And it's quite amazing because, for example, I have a client that I'm working with right now from Chile, and he was with me and he said, Malvina, -17 doesn't feel that cold when the sunshine is out. And then today we had -17, but it was windy. And he's like, oh, that feels colder.
Yeah.
So there's of course the weather. Other challenges would be just like anywhere, you have to use up a lot of energy to get to move to a new place. And especially if you're trying to study, and then your partner or your spouse
Mm,
is going to work, or you have children, or if you're on your own, there's potential for loneliness
mhm,
and isolation. So it's really great to have somebody that can help you
mhm,
connect you to different things that interest you in the city, or your hobbies that you had at home that you can bring to here, make those connections. It can also feel like, you mentioned Saskatoon, it's not big, like it's really not a big city, but it
mhm.
is a city. But it can
Yeah,
feel,
we can tell by the video. People
yeah,
might think Saskatoon, how big is that or how small, but it has an important university, a polytechnic,
yeah, oh
and
yeah,
everything there.
oh yeah, totally. It is a proper city. It has everything,
Mhm,
but it also feels like a smaller place too, because it doesn't take a long time to get around the city. So some
mhm.
other issues, for example, could be transportation might be a bit of, but if you have, again, if you have someone to help you,
Mhm.
all those things make it's possible and easier to deal with.
Yeah,
Um,
it takes
so
time to learn, like going
yeah,
anywhere, right?
yeah,
I think when we talk about winter, that might happen anywhere in Canada. Like
absolutely.
in general, Latin Americans are not used to that type of weather. But at the same time, everything is adapted to that. I mean, going to school, going to work,
Yeah.
daycares or
everything.
whatever they do, you don't feel cold inside.
Yeah, you can go right from your heated house to your heated garage into your heated
Yes.
car. You know, and
Exactly.
then that transition. Also, actually, some provinces like Saskatchewan, we're actually better equipped than other provinces because,
Mhm.
again, we have less people. So one of the benefits of less people in some cases is we have less competition.
You're right.
So we have more access to some things.
Mhm.
And so we like, for, you know, weather wise, like you don't have to be in the cold. You don't have to feel cold. Like, and our temperature, we say, is a dry cold. So you can bundle up and then you can stay warm. But honestly, Julieta, it's really about the full cultural experience,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
We have to keep that in mind that we are going
yeah.
to a different place and learn about it.
And that's the beauty of the experience that we're having, because the more we learn how to adapt, the more successful we can be in any environment. I also love being in the hot weather and going to the beach. That's awesome.
Mhm.
And I also understand that it's also awesome to be in -30, dressed warmly and going outside with friends and family having hot chocolate.
Right. And it's not the same going to the beach and having, a vacation and having a good time for a week that living in a very hot city when
Yeah,
it's hot all the time and everything has to be adapted. It's exactly the same,
totally. Yeah,
it's exactly the same.
yeah,
And everything has to be adapted and we have to learn about it.
yeah.
And just because we can see on video, it was great to have the video because it gave us an idea about the city and beautiful parks and buildings and different activities. What are the international students or any newcomers can expect about economics in the city or in the province? What type of jobs are more popular there, or what type of industries are important or strong in the province?
So we actually have a fairly diverse industry here, or jobs. Agriculture, of course, is one that's very popular. All sorts of types of agriculture and manufacturing, IT, and child working with children. That's
Mhm.
and then also within nursing and medicine and construction. We have a lot where we've got some pretty big projects. So we've got in the mining community, a lot of job opportunities,
Mhm.
and of course in tourism as well.
Mhm.
Um, students are coming to study at Saskatchewan Polytechnic or at the University of Saskatchewan, for example. There are so many opportunities for them to go from school to a profession here as well. To be honest, I feel like there's a lot of diversity in the marketplace right
Diverse.
now. I actually, interestingly enough, just got accepted onto the study yesterday that I'm going to be doing a lot more research on the immigrant experience and the job market.
Wow,
So
good.
within a month, I'll know even more.
Yeah.
But based
And I
on that,
think it's changing everywhere. Like probably some years ago, oil industry was super strong. It is
yeah,
still, but probably right now, other industries like technology, IT,
yeah,
and Canada is becoming very important in entertainment. Not only used to be only 2 or 3 cities,
yeah,
but now I have seen the industries have moved to cities like Saskatoon, like Winnipeg, like Calgary.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
changing and it's growing, and the economy and the actual situation that we were living with the pandemic,
Yeah.
probably new industries are coming, and I think the province is preparing for that, especially in Saskatoon, right?
Yeah, actually, Saskatoon has the largest mining project of its kind in Canada.
Mhm.
Right now, they just got it just about a year ago, and now it's just booming. So that's really exciting for this area. So it's Saskatoon and area. So there are
Mhm.
many different opportunities within that industry alone, a lot of different ones.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's really exciting, especially for being a smaller but exciting province.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And
It's
once
also nice to tour around, around Saskatchewan. Tour too, yeah.
and once one industry is, growing, there are different types of backgrounds of professional peoples that will be needed in the city, like business people, like sales people,
Exactly.
managers. So all of them will be important for any type of industry.
Yeah,
So it's a
exactly.
great option for students to consider about studying in Saskatoon.
You know, a nice thing too about Saskatoon is that if you're willing to connect with other people and you're willing to ask questions, be curious, you can make connections here very easily that can help you with future opportunities. One thing about Saskatoon that's, I feel like, important to know is that there are so many opportunities available to us here. You have to be someone that's willing to start that conversation and ask those questions. And then it's quite amazing what can be available to you.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could just tell our people, our audience, about why they should choose Saskatoon. You will give us like just few things about. I know it's your city, you're from there, but
Yeah.
that's why that you can tell us more about what's to be, what is like to be there, live there. As a peaceful city for families and with kids, and if I'm single and if I want to go, will I feel bad? And or do you think it's a good idea just to be there? I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you from both. I can speak to both of those. When
Okay.
I loved going to university here. I had the best time. I thought it was so great. So many things to do. Always different events, and I was interested in a lot of different things, and I loved that how many opportunities and exciting events and activities and things to do, and speakers and all sorts of things. And our university is very beautiful. So
I know, I've seen that, and I know
yeah.
they invest a lot in research. Like
Yes, a lot of
they put a lot of money on research and the faculties. It's amazing. They have a lot of programs for different, areas that students might be interested.
Yeah, honestly, I loved being a university student. It was just a lot of fun. There were so many things to do. And I think it's a great time to come, when you're in that space, in that time of your life where you are more willing to meet new people and to experience different things and to learn more about yourself and maybe a partner or whatever your plans are in life, or to further your career. And I feel like there's so many opportunities to do that here. And also it's nice because, like I mentioned, it is a city. So there's something for everyone, really. I mean, if you're coming from large centers like Mexico City, you can't compare it.
You have been here. You have been in Mexico City, so you know that.
Yeah, you can't compare. Not to compare, okay?
Yeah.
But realize that there are opportunities for you. Now, if you're coming as a family, I have to tell you honestly, I was someone who planned to live in another country. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna move away. But when I realized that I was gonna have a family, like once my husband and I were talking about that, I decided that there was no other place that I would want to do have a family than Saskatoon. And I have, just to be clear, like I love the countries that I have visited and been to, and I've been to 52 countries and I have lived in a lot of places. So I'm speaking from some experience. And I also recognize that I've spent a lot of time here, so I do like it. But honestly, it is a place of opportunity. And I do want to say that. And for children, it is a safe, it's easy to get around the city. Like I have seen the traffic jams. It's not like that here. It's so easy. I just use like 15, 25 minutes. You can get so much done. One of the things that happens here is you get the gift of time. You get more time to spend with your hobbies, your interests, your friends, your children, your whoever. You can't get that in a lot of places, right? So that's something that's really nice. Also, there's a lot of activities. There's lots of community support here, community programs. Also, if you're very interested in getting involved in like a church or something, there's a lot of programs there too. And and camps and sports and tons of things that are available in the city as well. If you have a family or if you're an individual, there's gyms everywhere. There's just a lot. I guess I would say mostly that it is, if you're looking for a city that will give you an opportunity to explore and to challenge your intercultural skills, then I would say that Saskatoon is a great place for that, because it really brings kind of the best of the bigger cities mixed with the smaller city.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I hope that makes
yeah, that's great. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it's true. I mean, it's in general, Canada is a multicultural country. Everywhere you can go, and I think it's growing, and it's important for the country, for the economy. Immigrants are important, and I can tell you right now, everywhere are important. But in Canada, has been like that for years. But it at Saskatoon and the province, they can offer something different than other places. And you're right. And because we know that it can be challenging for everybody. There are people like you that you are supporting them.
Yeah.
We are very happy to have you there, to have you in Saskatoon, because you've been helping a lot of people to settle in different with different goals. Even for teenagers, that we had teenagers still going to the school district. It's a time for them to settle, even if it's for 1 year. They have to learn about the city, about the life. If we have international students for, I don't know, for the university or for the college, they having this kind of support is great. And for employees arriving, for any company, hiring them. So tell us just a little bit of what you do. What is your main role there?
Honestly, the work that I did with the high school students to the work that I do with my corporate clients, all really need a lot of similar help in a lot of ways, right? I mean, of course, there's some differences, but ultimately what I do is I help people not have to stress and worry about what they have to get done in order to be able to do what they want to do. So for example, people coming as students on their own, I help them with any, banking or getting their cell phones. I show them around the city to help them, orientate themselves. I could take them around to the university or Sask Polytechnic and show them different programs, different opportunities. Also, I bring people for to show them that, like, hobbies or other interests, anything that really helps them feel like this is their city. And then I also do, like, I help with health cards, social insurance numbers, and then if needed, I help with rental and with home purchases, as well as insurance and driver's licenses, all those things. So then all they have to do is focus on their studies. Or if they're coming with a family, then I can also help with taking the whoever's available and the kids to different schools. I can tell them about the education systems, which I know about them quite well. Tell them more about the neighborhoods, any kinds of things that would be important for them to know when they settle and they find a place they want to live. And they also help with the registration system, everything, all of that. To basically what I do is I add further value to what you do when you send them here. Like, I just carry on the work that you can't do because you're not here.
Right.
It's like they get the support with you there, and then you just give it to me and I can do the support here. That's really what it is. So ultimately, it's really about them knowing that they are with a professional, a knowledgeable professional who's local, but also understands the newcomer experience from in a way that you can't explain.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to worry.
As you said before, once you arrive there and if the first day that you are landing, that there is a faith there that can support you, that can help you to feel like, good, that's good. I'm not just arriving at a place where nobody knows about me, or I don't know anything about the city. That's a good starting, I think.
You know what? I used to tell the, the students that I worked with you, I used to tell them all I was abuela. I was their abuela. And now with my older clients, I tell them I'm cousin.
The cousin. La prima. That's Spanish, la prima.
Oh, la prima, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you are there if you need something.
Exactly.
You help with all the introduction about a little bit about everything about the city, the life.
Yes, and comfortable, and you're not bothering me, and I'm happy to do that. Yeah, right. But your cousin, you don't see your cousin all the time. You don't see your brother all the time.
They're there.
When you see, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great support. Just let me see if we have some questions here. Okay. Do you know the population about we have mentioned that this is not a big city, but I don't know how big asking about the population.
I think it's about 320,000.
Just for people to know that it's a medium size in terms of Canadian terms,
Well, Canadian
it can be bigger than a medium sized city.
Yeah, like Canadian is strange, right? Because we have so for example, Saskatoon has like 320,000 or something, and then beside us is Winnipeg has 700,000, and then on the other side is Edmonton and Calgary with like 1 million.
So yeah.
But we're still considered a city, like So, but it has.
Comparing with Regina, it's kind of the same.
Kind of the same. Yeah, very similar. Very
similar. Yeah.
We have in Saskatchewan, we have just over 1 million people.
In the whole province.
Whole province. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
You have like 1 million in your neighborhood.
Yeah, probably yes. But it's amazing, you can enjoy just that huge land and nature.
Absolutely. You know what? It's so funny. I took some teens for a road trip to experience Saskatchewan. And I was telling them, I'm like, where else can you drive and see nobody for hours?
Yeah, I just nature's
beauty. You get to see the yellow canola fields, the farmers' fields, all the cows. When you're going, but when you leave, not in the city, but
in the city. Yeah. When you leave the countryside,
yeah. No, it's cool. It's really cool. It really has a little bit of everything. It's really a great introduction to Canadian life, I feel.
Just questions about programs. We are not just today talking about programs. We are talking more about the city, but later we will have other days. We will have some information about different institutions like the University of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon Polytechnic, and to know more about the programs. But today is like an introduction to the city, so people can know more about other opportunities, other options. We can always offer other options for you, not only the big cities, which I know they are important and they are popular and probably they can feed you, but Saskatoon might be another option. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me see. I think that's all that we have today. We have talked a lot about experience and settle in Saskatoon. And it's a beautiful place. I can tell you that it's a beautiful place and friendly people. And I think if you are interested, people that are just watching this video, if you are interested in a different option, Saskatoon has something to offer. Different college universities and nice people like Malvina, very friendly, and job opportunities, places for your kids, and opportunities for you and your family. So thank you, Malvina. Thank you for helping us, for being with us. And if you are interested in going to Saskatoon and you are planning to study, or you got a job offer or studying, Malvina is going to be there. So we will send some more information about Malvina and all the services that she's offering for newcomers. And this is so good to know that there is someone there. When our students arrive, they will have a friendly face and a great support.
Yeah, it would be my pleasure to welcome you and to do whatever I can to support your journey with Julieta and then with me over here. It would be fantastic to have you here. And I really feel that you would have a great experience, educational and also as an individual or with family.
Good. Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And
Can I
we
say bienvenido?
bienvenidos.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bienvenidos. I have to
Excellent.
practice my Espanol.
Español. Muy bien.
Yeah.
Vina, thank you for this time.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos. Esperamos sus preguntas. Nos pueden enviar sus mensajes aquí en YouTube. Nos pueden mandar un mensaje por WhatsApp y les vamos a contestar todas sus dudas. Thank you, Malvina.
Oh, bye.
Bye.